Hey folks, my name is Kareem Paranda. I'm a former police officer, now licensed clinician. I'm just going to give my perspective on this particular incident. One thing I can tell you is that many police officers subscribe to the rationale that they're going to go home the same way that they came in. And these are those circumstances like this one where the suspect is non-compliant, hands in his pocket. And these are those moments where is he armed or is he not armed? And in this particular case, unfortunately, he was armed. Thankfully, this officer survived this shooting. But there have been many incidents like this where the unsuspecting or unassuming suspect turns a weapon on the officer and kills him. In fact, these are the videos that they use in police training to create the hypervigilance and place a threat where there is none in some instances, uh, where unarmed black men have been killed, or in some cases have even notified the police that they are armed and they were still shot anyway. So that mentality or that conditioning takes root in the law enforcement training. And there's no doubt in my mind that real cases such as this one will again perpetuate the fear-based thinking that many officers patrol with. Everyone is armed, everyone is dangerous, everyone has the potential to take the officer's life. And the officer has to play catch up and pass the threat before it overtakes him or her while they're trying to do their job. Now, this is not including the dickhead officers out there that are misrepresenting their badge and misrepresenting their authority. This is specifically addressing the officers who are trying to do their job in a lawful and ethical way, such as this gentleman right here, who attempted to, again, conduct a field investigative stop on a suspect who did something that warranted this officer's attention. So, um, these are the threats that are real. These are the threats that are out there. So officers have a legitimate reason for approaching their job with a certain level of fear. When you hear the statement, "I was in fear of my life," and typically you'll hear it in circumstances where officers have utilized deadly force. This is what they fear. This is exactly what they envisioned. This is what they assumed. Something to this magnitude was going to take place if they did not take action immediately. They were going to be in imminent danger, as this officer was when he approached the suspect. And unfortunately, in this case, I'm an African American, and this was an African American officer and an African American suspect. And the approach initially was, hey, I'm black, you black, we could probably talk this thing out because we understand each other. But in this instance, and even with my experience in law enforcement, people have a problem with the uniform and what it historically represents. Everyone doesn't think the uniform represents valor, courage, and bravery. And it's associated with villainy, corruption, and abuse. And if we don't recognize it for what it is, or if we don't have a discussion around it, we're going to continue seeing incidents where um, people are going to take shots at the cops, and cops are going to respond in the ways that preserve life.